Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Raw and Wild Hearts podcast. I am your host and guide, Lori Rising, and welcome to today's episode, Nurture Your Pineal Gland, Nourish Your Life. Oh, I love me a spiritual eye. And we are going there today because guess what? When you have a strong pineal gland, you cannot be manipulated through fear or emotion. Let me say that one more time. When you have a strong pineal gland, you cannot be manipulated through fear or emotion. Yes! I mean, that's pretty much what we are living in every day in this culture, in this power over, in these linear systems and institutions. And yeah, it's time to flip that script in bigger, brighter, and bolder ways. And I mean, it's happening. It's beautiful. We are here for it. This great awakening and new earth rebirth is absolutely becoming an avalanche, right? It's like the light ball that keeps getting brighter and bigger until it will avalanche into the dominant energy that becomes absorbed on the planet. So every time you drop in, every time you move through transformation of density to light in your cells, in your experiences, in your emotions, you contribute to what is happening in beautiful waves. And I just got to say, the more you hear and feel the scarcity and fear and lack narrative out in the airwaves, the more you know the light is breaking through. Yeah. So much more to come on that. But if you are new to this podcast, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. You have found a beautiful collective and community of seekers, of mystics, of light workers, warriors, of inquisitive humans that are ready to live in their birthright of joy, ease, and manifestation, aka magnetization of the innate medicine and lives you came here to share. And I am the biggest cheerleader of burning that light within you as brightly as you possibly can. If you're a longtime listener of the podcast, heyo, seriously, you fuel this wild heart revolution and this mission. I so appreciate it when you share your epiphanies, your experiences and transformations, and especially when you jump in and give us a star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and subscribe on your favorite platform. And if you'd like to dive further in with me in a one-on-one or more personalized setting, I have digital courses, guided meditations, personal readings that incorporate an intuitive, psychic, and astrological point of view for the energies that you're working with and moving toward. And I also have in-person retreats. There's my accelerated trauma transformation, psychic strengthening, and astral connection Mexico retreat coming up at the end of January. There's one space left. It's the option for a shared room, and y'all, this container is off the spiritual hook. I am beyond excited to go through quantum evolution and leaps with every single soul that has answered the call to create this sacred circle and space. So definitely check that out in the links below. And then in early spring in Sedona is the Awakening Astrology retreat with the incomparable Molly McCord. Yeah, they are powerful. So yeah, there's a lot to choose from. I also have lots of freebies. So check out my website at therawandwildhearts.com or just hit any of the links below in the show notes. So let's get into this pineal gland activation. Yes? Yes. This is actually one of the biggest sources of innate medicine that we came into these bodies with that has been assaulted, disconnected, severed, and disempowered in our experience through the linear systems and institutions, the expert narrative, the power over, and in general, the desire of many people in power to keep us unhealthy, unwell, unwhole, and in deep polarization with each other. Yeah, That is how important this little gland is in our lives. So let's just chat a little bit about what it is and what it does and how we can nourish it, decalcify it, and make it stronger than ever, which in turn will turn this train around and aim it for the heavens. Okay, so the name third eye comes from the pineal gland's primary function of letting in light and dark, just like our two eyes do. So this gland is the melatonin secreting neuroendocrine organ, and it contains light sensitive cells that control the circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm is literally basically our guiding light and dark. And we have artificially manipulated it in so many ways in this progressive and progressing culture. The spiritual third eye is regarded as the gateway of spiritual life, and that's per ancient concepts about the soul. Consciousness is said to be derived from the pineal gland, also the principal seat to the soul. It also controls body's sleep patterns, sex drive, hunger, thirst, biological aging process, and it's the path of ease into our multidimensional state of being, our higher consciousness activation, and it is the guiding hormone in supporting childbirth to move forward in ease. Yeah, that's right. We actually came in with the ability to birth children, and we have negated its utmost importance in that biological ability and innate wisdom that is inherent within us. Oh, fun fact, it may release DMT, which is also known as dimethyltryptamine, the molecule of consciousness. Of course, I have to say may there because we are still scientifically studying that to death. But I mean, for reals, we all know it's true. So the pineal gland contributes to and activates our deepest spaces of healing and also our natural high. In that connection with consciousness, with our truth and our knowingness at our core, deep in our soul, we drop into deep states of transcendence where we straddle the worlds, where we live in that magnetization in ease because of the innate navigation system and guidance that comes through our body, our physical conduit, when we care for it in the way that it was meant to be supported and nurtured and nourished to make the instrument play beautiful, flawless music. And this, my friends, is where our deeper psychic strength comes in, our divine sight and visions, and our telepathy gets stronger. Guess what happens then? You live a life of ease and joy and magnetization because you're co-creating with the innate navigation system that you came in with to work with and from. And then life happens from you and for you. Life does not happen to you. But I'm sure you can imagine that when we are disconnected from the power in this consciousness connection, in this super hormone of melatonin, how easily it is to feel fractured and imbalanced and unwell. And when we're in those lower states of energies and frequencies, it's real easy to absorb the dominant narrative around us, which wants to just amplify that disconnect and that unwellness in order to create deep states of emotional manipulation and compliance. So if you are listening to this podcast as I drop it, you're probably aware of why I'm sharing about how important this little beautiful, sparkly, magical gland is. We have just moved through a very intense astrological event or events, which is our eclipse season, and they keep hitting harder. We are being asked to go deeper, to excavate more, to create transformation of density to light in our cells so that we can connect with more clarity and guidance And then we crave what we start to experience, which has always been our birthright. Then we drop into the intentional practices of nourishing our bodies and supporting them in their full, beautiful potential, which is to bring heaven on earth and rebirth a humanity and collective from benevolence, unity consciousness, and love frequency. So yeah, we have kind of gotten hammered with this last eclipse, which was the full Taurus lunar eclipse conjunct Uranus. And for some of us, we just kept getting hit with more triggers, more core wounds, more external experiences, really for the opportunity to dive deeper and get to the root, get underneath the feeling, the fear, the trigger, and transform it or transmute it into a state of empowerment and strength. And so we're moving into this beautiful space of the Sagittarius new moon at this time, where it becomes a more soft energy and it gets lighter. There's more joy, there's fun, there's higher consciousness activations. And also from that, we remember and reactivate our unity consciousness, which is our universal mind. We transcend the microscopic world of just our personal experience to come from what can be known as Christ consciousness, to come from our God energy, to come from a place of divine understanding of every soul's unfolding path and journey that they chose in this human world, which actually immediately releases us from the old narrative and programming of our unhealthy ego, right? That can feel judgment, jealousy, polarization of I'm right, you're wrong, the external need for gratification and validation without taking into account someone else's experience and energy and ability to change and evolve in this life. It's really how we get into our present moment and the possibilities that are all around us as we drop into deeper states of psychic connection and consciousness. And y'all, we have the tools to make that happen. This becomes your free will of how deep you want to go and how open you are to miraculous potentials and unknown possibilities, because they are there and they are ripe for the picking, especially as we move into these Sagittarius energies and Jupiter stationing direct in Pisces as well. This is going to be a gorgeous state of expansion through learning, through an inquisitive, open, and adventurous mind, body, and soul, and from just being easy again. Let yourself be injected with joy. Find the funny and share it widely. Which, P.S., if you are hella into astrology and connecting with the astrological weather, cosmic tides, and planetary co-creations, check out the Country Clairvoyant on IG. He will make you laugh. Just do it and enjoy it and feel the expansion that comes from it. You're welcome. So this is how nature comes in to give us a boost after we've gone into the depths of shadow work, into what might feel hella uncomfortable. And in the past, this could have been a prime time where we resisted what was coming up from within for healing and ultimately for our inner medicine and innate strength, which would have then just become the cycle of creating more traumatic imprints and core wounds within ourselves, our souls, and how we experience the world. So I want to give you a big old shout out right now for feeling, because we cannot heal unless we feel, for being curious about what's under the trigger, getting to the root, and knowing that you are here, you are strong enough, you have the light within you to transform and to create deep spaces of evolution in your experience, your communities, and the collectives. you're doing the work and I see you. This is why the podcast is coming out today. I want to support you in getting excited about your sovereignty, your agency in making these changes, and knowing that every intentional practice you dive into, you will gain more clarity, light acceleration, and guidance from higher dimensions. I know, because it only continues to strengthen for me. Let's talk about melatonin. So melatonin is the hormone that's released through the pineal gland, and it controls the circadian rhythms and reproductive hormones, and it also affects our stress and ability to adapt to a changing world. So when you hear me say that, it's pretty obvious how much we have manipulated this beautiful hormone that also moves us into the deepest consciousness connections and transcendent spaces. I mean, let's just look at artificial light. We were literally made to come here and be nature. We weren't meant to come here and dominate nature because we are actually nature. Everything in the universe, all energy, all life is a part of ourselves. It's the life force that pulsates all around us and within us. Living by the moon and sun is actually our best guiding light, and it's our healthiest states of existence, and it has not happened for a very long time. Just the invention of artificial light, and then we can go further with that as we move into fluorescent lights, LED lights, and just in general, sacrificing our natural circadian rhythm in order to survive. We have jobs that work around the clock. We have constant disruptions in our sleep cycle, our sleep pattern, and our hormonal regulation. So honestly, before I go further, if you have one takeaway from this entire share, it's to prioritize your sleep. When you prioritize your sleep, you prioritize your health, your wellness, and your wholeness. I mean, come on, y'all know when you barely get any sleep at night, how grounded are you the next day? It can produce stress, anxiety, delusion, irritability, anger. It can create triggers and wounds in our communities and collectives. Yeah. So this is a perfect time to flip that script, reframe the normalization of that disconnection to your deep source of innate guidance. I mean, it's wild to me in this for-profit, power over expert narrative, Band-Aid medical system to keep you coming back and staying in the system. How, if someone comes in and doesn't have good sleep, instead of getting to the root and empowering that person in their own innate medicine, they will literally offer them something so addictive as sleep pills, which cause so many more side effects and actually decrease the function of your pineal gland as well. PPS, I'm not giving medical advice here. I'm just sharing my thoughts on where we are and how unsupportive and disempowering that model is. Now, I know that we are habitual beings. It's the truth. We do really well in patterns and in repetition. We become experts at whatever it is that we practice. And so breaking free from those habitual reactions that may not be supporting us in our innate health, medicine, and wisdom can feel overwhelming, especially if we're already exhausted and overwhelmed because we're living a life that's not in alignment, which amplifies our discontentment, disconnection, and apathy in this experience. And also, who are you giving your belief, your attention, and your energy to? Because if you are filling your stream of consciousness with positive people who believe so deeply in your potential, your majesty, and your abilities to make great change in your world and in your life, which will result in you craving that change even more and easily dropping into the new habits, practices, and intentions, then it will happen. Who are you giving your energy to? What energy are you absorbing on a daily basis? Be available to cut the cords with anyone who is keeping you in limitation or keeping your light dim. We are here for profound evolution and growth and change. And we are not finite. We are infinite. So no matter what you choose today, it may look 200% different tomorrow. Okay, that was a pretty big sleep tangent. I love sleep. I love feeling grounded. I love being strong in my emotions and in my truth. And for reals, I actually crave living by the moonlight. We'll see if I can make that happen. I know I can make that happen. We'll see when I make that happen. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to talk a little bit here about things that can be calcifying our pineal gland in case you don't know, for awareness in case you don't already know. All right. So EMFs. Yeah. Especially wireless devices. I know it's a tough one because we continue to grow our worlds through our global networks and connections. So at the very least, I suggest getting blue light blocker glasses. And I also know that there are some EMF protection devices out there. I just have never tried any out, so I don't have any to share with you, but it may be something to research. All right, so toxins, especially ones found in drugs or alcohol or food, and synthetic supplements, especially calcium. So definitely watch for that. I have always been told from my mentors to not supplement with calcium, but that is definitely something for you to talk to your well-informed, holistic, and functional medicine providers who truly and deeply care about your well-being and health and wellness. Okay, lack of sun. This is important, y'all. We used to live our entire lives outside. Like before we had the conveniences of air conditioning and heaters, we would have to move our bodies to generate the heat. We worked with what was outdoors and in the elements. We hunted and foraged for our foods, and we lived by the daylight and moonlight cycles. And so we got nice vitamin D. We got that sunlight. So something that you can do here, if you're not getting your vitamin D, is give yourself 20 minutes every day to go out, get your belly in the sunlight, get your whole body in the sun, especially the areas that have never seen or felt sun. I've got to say, in the healthcare communities that are fighting for your wellness and your wholeness and your health, they are talking about sunning your bum. That's like a blast of vitamin D. And so you don't even need to do it very long in order to get the beautiful benefits, because we are also realizing how important the hormone vitamin D is for our health as well. And we can talk about processed foods. Get your diet into organic foods with less pesticides, less chemicals, definitely less hormones as much as possible. Grow your own food, know where it's coming from. It's such a beautiful practice, not only in the health of your pineal gland and the health of your body, but in the health of our communities, really supporting our local farmers and agriculture, which supports us as well. It becomes this beautiful spiral of life and light that happens as we grow in these very intentional ways. We also need to pay attention to mercury and heavy metals in our bodies. Y'all, these can also contribute to our high rates of depression and suicidal tendencies. Don't quote me on this because I can't remember how long ago it was that I knew this, but it was definitely when I was teaching childbirth. So it's been a hot minute. But babies are now born with over 200 heavy metals in their system. Also, mainstream deodorants. If you're not going the natural route with your deodorant, there is aluminum in there that is contributing to the calcification of the pineal gland. Fluoride and chlorine, especially fluoride in water, it gets delivered into our bodies in much quicker ways. And also refined sugar. Y'all, we've got to get off of the refined sugar train. not only does it contribute to the calcification of your pineal gland, it also feeds parasites, candida in the body, and wreaks havoc on our gut health, our blood sugar levels, and our mental health. So I know I said drugs and alcohol before, but also cigarettes are included in that. We have just normalized feeling unwell for so long that it can be hard to find the motivation to change these habits to feel well, because we're moving towards a goal of something that we've never felt before. But this is a great practice, because honestly, the more we get excited about the unknown and the more that we hold the potential for possibilities that we have yet to experience in our bodies, in our cells, in our thoughts, the more we get the miracles. Miracles aren't just for people that you've heard about. They're for every single one of us. But we have to be the divine co-creators in that experience. We have to come to the table. We have to participate. And this is why I run the programs and the retreats and the meditations that I do. I enthusiastically help you engage in the practices for long enough that you get to start experiencing some of the psychic attunements, divine visions, and wellness within your physicality, within your vehicle, that you crave continuing the practices. You get to notice what becomes magnetized into your life when you're in those higher states of frequency from the repetition, and then you solidify it. And then you accelerate. And then you drop into deeper states of evolution. And then you become a light master, an energy master, a telepathic communicator, all of the things. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to talk about today is a few more ways to decalcify the pineal gland, because what is the most important thing that you take away from this experience today? Yes, sleep, but also that we are made to heal and thrive. So no matter what we have put these vehicles and these bodies through, put our minds through, our souls, our spirits through, the thought patterns, belief systems, our greatest superpower is healing from states of unwavering alignment and belief in that ability. That's the key. We have to transform the belief systems, but we also get to transform the physical patterns and habits to support us holistically. Okay, so a few more beautiful ways to decalcify your pineal gland include meditation. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, we love meditation around here. And get rid of the judgment, get rid of the inner critic, especially if you feel like you're not doing it right. This is why I've created so many of them, where you can just push play and you can let your mind rest, right? Let the narratives and those old belief systems rest and just follow the guidance. I have free ones on my website. I also have some beautiful advanced ones for a very, very minimal amount of money. Okay, also there's a way to activate and exercise your pineal gland by closing your eyes, looking upward, and then in between your eyes. I have this one on my sound bowl meditation that it is free, and it's in my YouTube channel somewhere. So you'd have to search it out. It might be in one of the playlists as well. Also, frequency sound therapy. So 963 hertz is a great frequency to nourish the pineal gland. You can also find a sound bowl for the pineal gland, which is the 6th chakra. I personally sometimes go to sleep with a 963 hertz sound, and the dreams are incredible. Remember, your dreams are your consciousness connection, but you're dreaming in the experience that you know. So you always want to get to the emotional message of the dream, and then you can go higher with what's being activated and what's being shared with you when we're in our deepest states of consciousness connection. Warm lemon water in the morning. This is good for so many reasons. Make it a habit. It's good for your digestion. It's good for your liver. It's good for your pineal gland. Do it before you ingest anything else for the day. And the last one I'm going to throw out there are foods high in tryptophan. So leafy greens, sunflower seeds, watercress, pumpkin seeds, mushrooms, broccoli, and peas. Okay. So that is a big ol' summary of how amazing our pineal gland and third eye is. I know I talked a little bit about how it takes us into states of transcendence, and this has not been known for very long. A beautiful doctor that is making huge contributions in the world of empowered childbirth, which becomes deep states of transcendence and spiritual connection for those humans in this life, and also contributes to a gentle, caring, thoughtful, and loving culture. His name is Dr. Michel Odent, and he's the one that really discovered that melatonin is actually the hormone that is made to make childbirth go well. Now, if you can imagine in that expert narrative, liability-based medical system that many women birth in because of our whole paradigm of insurance, they've been putting women in bright fluorescent lights up on a table, legs up in stirrups, and usually in one of the least supportive childbirth positions, which actually contributes to worse outcomes and medical interventions. We have been completely disrupting the role of melatonin, the production of melatonin, and the ability to give childbirth the innate medicine that was made to support it and make it go well. Not only that, but we disempower, we overpower, and frankly, verbally and sometimes physically abuse our mothers to the point where they do not tap into their consciousness connection and the innate guidance that their body and navigation system is moving them through. Yeah, this is a passion of mine, even though I've retired from childbirth education, and I will definitely at some point be getting my book out about this, because this is really crucial knowledge for us to have so that we disrupt this perpetual cycle of birth trauma, spiritual disconnection, and resulting core wounds of abandonment and mistrust that we are all living out in our adult lives. Well, a lot of us. I'm not going to put everybody in there, but dang, y'all, I've seen it. I've been in it. I've felt it. And this is something that we have to change. This has to be a part of the rebirthing from love, benevolence, and balance that comes from our sovereignty, our light, our strength, our innate truth, and our inherent wisdom that resides and pulsates through our cells as we continue making these beautiful, gorgeous transformations, as we continue dropping in and doing the work, as we trust that the astrological energies and the cosmic weather will shift and come in to lift us up when it's time to find the root of strength and healing in every one of those experiences. Our own, our lifetimes of experiences, and our lineages experiences that move through our cells as well. Okay, y'all, I hope that you have found this episode wildly supportive, very encouraging and activating for your soul growth and for your communities. So definitely tag me on Instagram with a screenshot, share this episode with someone that you know would benefit, that you know would get hella excited knowing how they came in with the potential and the power to make this kind of change when they drop out of the dominant, fractured cultural narrative and they drop in to the beautiful pillar of light and strength that they are and they came to unleash. Yes! Okay. Until next time, y'all, don't forget to keep looking up. And with that, let's normalize the struggles, celebrate the quirks, and lean into the light. From myself and Beezus the Brave, happy Wild Heart Revolution, friends!